Welcome to the video, guys. This time we'll be taking a look at a hidden cache deck. And the interesting thing about hidden cache is that it didn't actually get any buffs with the new expansion. It at least didn't get any new cards that you want to play. Because if you take a look at this list, then there's 0 new cards. But the thing is, it's still a pretty viable deck. It is very strong. It has a lot of very, very decent matchups. It can be a little bit hard to pilot, but overall, it is a pretty solid deck. Now, I know some of you probably know the deck already, like it's not something like super original or anything, but I would still like to go through the cards and why they're in there and what you could do instead, and talk about a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses of the deck. So, if we start off from the top, you obviously got Passiflora in the list. Passy is one of the strongest syndicate cards, 14 probation, so obviously pretty expensive as well, but it's okay to have an expensive card, and the only answer to scenarios right now is, as you all know, Heatwave. So basically, the Passiflora quite often just trades for the Heatwave, but then you get this 5-point Peach down next to it. And that's just a 1 point return engine that will keep on growing. And if they heatwave the Passy, then they cannot heatwave your Saul, they cannot heatwave your Jackal. They have plenty of other types of control. So usually you don't really mind it too much if they end up heatwaving your Passy. So that's the reason that card in there. Then we have an Neuromancy, and obviously there's an alternative to an Neuromancy as well. You can go Bank, but I always like Neuromancy versions more because you just have a lot more consistency. Like usually round 1, you want to play some key cards to win the round. That could be Lieutenant, that could be Saul, that could be your Poison Package, that could be an Imp, that could be sort of stuff like that. Maybe even a Heat Wave. If you have Bang in hand, you never really want to play that round 1. So sometimes forces you into some very awkward situations round 1. And if you can't really contest round 1, you usually will end up struggling with this deck. That's why we have the Neuromancy. Now, next up we have Heatwave. In this meta, if you aren't playing Devotion, you are probably playing Heatwave. It's just a very good card. Don't think we need to talk too much more about that. The next up we got Morale. Morale is really good in this deck because you have a lot of poisons. As you can see, we have Mutated Hound, we have double Fish Tech, and we have double Fish Tech Trafficker. So it's 5 poisons already, plus Morale. So it's like 6 poison in the deck. Well, 5 poison and double poison, which is really, really strong. It just complements game plan, which is shutting down opponents' engines and troll units while you develop your own. So very, very nice, flexible deck. Then we have Philippa, kind of the MVP of the deck. We all know Philippa. Really a good way to use your coins to steal one of opponent's strong engines and kind of reverse the fight you have to get more engines than the opponent. Because usually, like, the person go first, drops an engine, you drop an engine, you just keep on playing engines, but then you play Philippa and you actually take one from the opponent to your side of the board and make like a double swap. So obviously you always want Philippa in this sort of list. And we got MK. Again, strong engine, 2 coins a turn. Coins are worth more than 1 point per coin because you can use them on something like a Jackal, where you can use the coins at a better ratio, 2 coins for 3 points, which is really nice. And it also just like makes your entire deck work. Like Philippa is only good because you got coins. MK means that you almost always can get your boat down, which means you're kicking more warriors working, that sort of stuff. Lieutenant is a little bit of a filler. We are playing Hidden Cache, so it's very easy to meet the Horde requirement. So like this card almost always works. It's also a spender, which can be nice, just being able to use some of your points to transform your Firesworn Sealers. So okay card, dies to Rebuke and stuff, and Boiling Oil another 500 removal, but all pretty okay. Could probably do something else with that provision as well. Like the alternative is probably that you kick your like maybe you kick like a Lieutenant and an Neuromancy for Bank and Jack, for instance. I think that's like the best alternative build you can do. Then you have a finisher, but you lose the engine here and you lose some consistency. Then we have Kalkstein, and Kalkstein is a meta call. Right now, I think he's really, really good. When you think about it, one of the most popular decks right now is Lockdown. I made a video on that as well. But Lockdown as the name indicates, has a shit ton of locks, and Kalkstein is just really saving your ass there. It's also great in the mirror, but especially against lockdown, being able to get rid of all the locks just means that the matchup goes from being really bad to really good, simply just because of one card, which is quite amazing. Obviously, we're running Saul, very easy to get to 7 coins, which means that this card will just play for 3 points a turn. Absolutely insane. Then we talked about some of these cards before. We have the poison. We have all our 5 poisons here. I don't need to go more into detail with them. We have the peaches, which just enables the Passiflora to work. And then we have the Jackals. You need some spenders. Jackals is a great spender, especially with hidden cash. Means you can spend at a better ratio when you are at 5 coins or more. Ransackers, also just more of a value play. 5 points, 2 coins. If the coins are worth a little bit more than points, then maybe it's worth like 3 points extra. So like it could be an 8-point play, the Ransacker, if you have a Jackal on the board, which is just really solid. Like not an amazing card by any means, but it's because it doesn't really complement the game plan. It's not like you can like finish it off with some other cards afterwards, but it just helps you generate coins, play for decent value, and it's really nice to have this sort of 4P card. Then there's the Kikimo Warrior, kind of a meta call as well. You can substitute with a Squirrel if you feel like that's better, but the main upside to the Kikimo Warrior is just that you can if it goes through, it's an insane engine. 3 points a turn for 4P card is pretty nuts. I don't think there's any other card that does that for operation, but quite often it will get answered. The thing is that if it gets answered by something like a Rebuke, Boiling Oil, etc., then it means that your Peach might go through or your Lieutenant might go through. We're running Tiger Size on Blue, and you can just drop this turn 1 and see if it lives. If they're in a meta where maybe like Felip was very popular, or other sort of like skirmishes, maybe cards that can easily answer this, then you might want to swap it out for something else. And then finally, we've got Street Urchins, 5 for 4, not great, but helps you with some consistency on the Passiflora, and you kind of need some spenders. Usually, you only really want to spend for the Jackals. Jackals are great spenders. The Urchins are pretty bad spenders. But sometimes you don't have a choice. You just have to go for the Urchin. So this is the deck. Again, I think it's really strong right now. And it's a sort of deck that combines this strong control tools that we have seen, Philippa, Poisons, Heatwave, with a lot of powerful engines in Adriano, Lieutenant, Saul, etc. Then it's a deck that's really good at bleeding. Like basically, when you think about it, this deck you go into round 2 where you have your Flying Redanian in the graveyard, and then let's say you just play a Peach and go leader, all of a sudden you have like 5-point engine on the board, goes 1 per turn, and boat. It's very difficult for the opponent to overcome that in 1 turn. So you can usually force some pretty big commitments from the opponent to survive a bleed against you. And sometimes you can even actually quite often what you end up doing is that you slam something like Saul or Passiflora in the bleed, and just apply so much pressure to an opponent, then you can sometimes split out their key card so you can win a short run of 3 or potentially just 2-0 them. It also feels very rewarding to play because it's just like you have so many decisions with your coin management. It's definitely not easy, but if you play it well, it will feel very rewarding. I think the main weakness of the deck is probably that if you fail to win round 1, then you get a lot less value from your Flying Redanian and your leader ability. So in a long round, your opponent's leader abilities will quite often be worth quite a lot more, and you might struggle a little bit. That being said, it's not like you can't win a long round of 3, but you almost always want to beat with this deck, almost regardless of the matchup. As I said before, it's kind of tricky to play as well. So if you're not, if you're a little bit new to the game, it might not be your go-to deck. Then for the mulligans, I would say that it's recommendable to start to find some of your poisons, especially in red. It's really nice to have basically as many poisons as you can find. Just play for pretty good value. You can kind of force your opponent to go proactive while you just get rid of them. When you've got rid of the engines, you can maybe play some of your own. Have a lot of flexibility in how you play it on red. Quite often also want to try to mulligan for your Kikimo Warrior. Kikimo Warrior, again, it can sometimes be easy to remove in round 3, but in round 1, if the opponent doesn't have an answer, it can just win you the round on even maybe, which is great. And in terms of matchups, then you have, I would say, Vi and Lockdown as the preferable decks you want to go up against. Because for Vi, they just can't keep up with your engines, and even if they manage to do so, then your poisons will be a pain for them. Like, they cannot deal with your poisons, your heat wave. So you have control options in your poisons and your filler path for their consumes. And then you have poisons as well for the tall units. That's a really strong units that cannot engines they cannot deal with. So great matchup versus Vi, and because of the Kalkstein, you also have a great matchup versus Lockdown. But honestly, any Nilfgaard deck really, like Nilfgaard decks, you can just like Kalkstein will just carry very hard. Obviously, there are situations like if you go up against something like a Simulate, they don't play locks. Maybe it's a little bit different, but on the other hand, the Simulate usually don't have any toll removal. So that's something you can take advantage of. And the thing to note about Nilfgaard as well is also that they aren't running Heat Wave, so they can't really deal with passive, which can be worth a lot of points for you. In terms of the more difficult matchups, I would say that it's probably something like a Shield Wall, Precision Strike, other sort of decks that can like control very well. Like maybe like at least Precision Strike is a very bad matchup. Shield Wall is a little bit more different. Kind of depends. It's also not very meta right now, but probably Shield Wall is actually a fairly decent matchup. But Precision Strike is kind of bad. And any other deck that kind of can control you while not playing that many engines themselves, right? Because you take Precision Strike, at least if like, and by Precision Strike, I'm particularly meaning sort of like this Shiro version with like All God, and they don't play any engines, and so that means like your poisons don't really do anything, but they do just play a lot of removal cards, toll removals, removal for your engines. So like your control tools won't do much, but their tools, like their control, will do a lot versus you, and you will never really get your engines to stick. So tough matchup, I would say. I played this deck on stream, and I went 10-1 with it, playing against a variety of different decks. So it feels really smooth right now. I can highly recommend giving it a go. I think that was it for the deck. Now I'll give you guys a few games to watch. Got some lockdown here again. So let's see. I have to go first. This card is probably not going to do anything. Could just keep this. Again, just try to play a few cards and get out, maybe. Nilfgaard is the strongest faction. I think it might be. It's kind of tough to say, but at least I think that the like lockdown is very strong in this meta. Some syndicate or what? A rare site? Yeah, true. I think it's decent though. I think hidden cache is kind of okay. Kill is the strongest faction. Kill is kind of nice as well, for sure. Definitely not a bad deck either to play right now. So yeah, we could maybe do this first. If we think we have room, I could try to play the Ransacker. The Ransacker would play for what? For 5, 8 points. It's probably going to be enough. Kind of nice just to get some thinning here at least. Not sure, like if he goes breath and he could tempo ahead, but he doesn't. He plays it slowly, that's fine. Let's just take the pass. And I think we kind of got what we wanted. We managed to get one of his cavalry out, like they're really strong. And we got our boat out, max coin carryover. Pretty happy about this, to be honest. And looks pretty strong, probably too strong. I might have to mulligan away my passy here. would like to find a Kalkstein. Maybe some more poisons. Small you. You're not gonna be that great. So fine, because that's nice. So basically, yeah, I don't think we're ever really gonna go past this round. He just decides to try pass. I think I can see that making sense from him. But I think he will lose because of Calc now. We'll just do this. Get max current carryover. And yeah, I mean, now we should just be in a good spot, I think. We have first say as well, which is probably preferable in a long round. Drawing, pretty sick as well. Find a spender. So we need some blind eyes. Yeah, now. Would rather not have that card. Have a card like one of these instead, but maybe it's just fine. Like if the Sun just wins. Kind of also needing a follow up for this one though. This is the issue with having like too many of these mid-range cards, right? But let's try to keep it. Just start with this here, I think. Goes for his own ball here. No surprise. Heatwave it. I think that's a pretty standard play. Does he go for double lock here? It does, yeah. But that's gonna be kind of rough for him, I think. Just go for Imke here, I think. He's probably gonna lock that one as well. So I guess like we need to be careful of over profiting. So we gain 6 coins, would rather try to spend some of them. So maybe I do this first. And then we're gonna go Calc next, maybe. Disabling his engine as well. So like he can lock the Calc now, but like then that's his last lock gone basically. I think it's pretty much just over here. I'm very surprised if we don't win from here. Morale might be dead. But that's it. Yeah, he locks Calc, sure. No problem. Right. So now we're probably gonna go for this, I think. Transform here. If it's last lock, it's just wrong to lock Calc. Sorta, it depends. Depends on the rest of his hand. He could still have a poison package. I don't want to give him the yen on this. I don't think. So it might just end up being a break, but rather than giving him yen plus Joachim. Probably shouldn't have spent the second time here, but oh well. It's not a big problem. So he could break it very soon here. Cheeky. Kind of want to disable this one, to be honest. Like if I play it now, and then he has Joachim. But if I play it now, he won't be able to trigger tries, but he'll have to yen this. And then he will only get 1 poison from it, basically, so it's not a problem. This is a 9. That goes to a 10. This one is probably better. I think this is fine. He might break this because Joachim now or something like that, but So we can finish you off. Then I would rather not spend too much with this. Maybe we can spend once. So I guess we just spent all the way with this one now. Do this. And then that's just not enough. So like there was a consideration to but like I've saved the calc one more turn, right? Because it re-enabled this and stuff. So we could just have played one turn later. Probably would have won by more, but I'm not sure. Like he clearly didn't play around calc, right? It's difficult when you get in that position. I think you kind of need to bleed to play around the calc. Another matchup where Kalkstein should smurf quite hard. The tricky thing is always about finding the right round to use them. Do have some poison package here. Do I really want this card? I don't think so. I'm tempted to go Nairo into Kikimo Warrior. Probably just die to like a Joust or something there, right? It's probably better not to. Probably better just to do something like this. Let's go for this as well. What's your opinion on downgrading on Nairo to Bang and play Jack instead of Van Hast? You can do it. Not a bad suggestion either. I do like playing on Ironmancy a lot in Syndicate, to be honest. Like, I don't mind Bank either, but the flexibility you get from Bank compared from on Ironmancy compared to Bank is just huge. It really frees up your game plan so much before round 3. So we're actually struggling a way to get to max coin carrier, which is a little bit annoying, but it should be fine, I suppose. We could drop like one peach here. I think it's fine. Playing versus Crozier, by the way. Well, I'm not surprised that you know that, in fairness. I have a feeling that you have like every single Gwent Twitch stream open all the time. Are you going to stream next season or try hard? So I still haven't decided yet. I'm waiting for them to announce a new format, because if it's going to be a similar format to this season, at least in terms of crown points, I don't think I'll bother. I don't think it's realistic for me to play another like 7 or 8 months, or how long it is to collect enough crown points to actually compete to qualify for another tournament. But if they change the format, and you can qualify to tournaments through some sort of ladder placement for playing fewer amount of games, I think it becomes a more appealing option to me. I think I'm just supposed to. Maybe we could finish this one off instead, to be honest. So even considering quitting the game, I don't think I'll quit the game. I like doing content. And I like playing a few games, but I think there's a big difference between jamming like 500 plus games a month and then maybe like playing a few hundred games a month. And yeah, I think there's a huge difference between that. And it's easy for me just to play like a few hundred games, do some streams, do some coaching, have some fun with that, rather than committing to play so many games each month. It's not really a sustainable solution for me, given I'll also finish my studies. I have to find a job and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. I'll just finish this one off here. Applying quite a lot of pressure so far. At the same time, it's like we need to figure out what to do next. Maybe like we go for like a ransacker. It's always nice to have a decent amount of carrier going into the next round. Hey Kia, how are you doing? Hey, testing Pret. Okay, he gives me some of these shitty bricks. That's a little bit sad. Do we create Jam Soul as well and be like, screw it? We could, to be honest. Maybe that's just what we do. See if we can force around with him. I mean, you're starting to be a data analyst. You'll quickly have a good stable income, much better than Gwent can offer. Yeah, I mean, so for me, Gwent was never about the money. It's nice to earn some money, absolutely, but it was never like the main ambition for me. Like streaming and stuff it's not like paying anything near what I can earn at my job. I mean, the money from Gwent Masters was definitely nice. Don't get me wrong, but I've always considered it to be a hobby that I was very passionate about. So yeah, I definitely think that I will. Like, I'm not worried about the money aspect. It's more about the time commitments. So take the round here, which is nice. Only 3 coins of carryover, but get both Roach and Niggas out of him. We have to commit Van Her Saul, but it's okay. He gets like 2 clocking into my deck, which is never nice. But we drew our own Iroh, and so I mean that's like the most important thing. If we could also draw like a Passy here, it would be amazing. Not quite, but still not the worst draws. What's your game of the year for 2020? I haven't been playing that much else. Like I mainly just been playing Gwent and then a little bit of Fortnite, but I haven't been playing like that many games, to be honest. So what do we do here? Do we go Nairo into Passy? We can only trigger it once. Maybe that's fine, honestly. Maybe it's not. Maybe just go MK first. Maybe just go MK first. Do we shield MK? Maybe we should shield MK, actually. Yeah, let's shield MK. One game of Among Us just to make chess small. That's true. I did play one game of Among Us. He does go for luck on it. Maybe it was wrong, but I think he's definitely running the Cloggers cards, right? Do we just go for Passy here? But then we don't have access to Calc. Maybe I just do this. And if he, for some reason, has another lock, it's pretty nice. He doesn't go for another lock here, but we could just go for Calc here, I suppose. Is that the correct thing to do, though? I think it might be. Like now he gets the other, but I mean, I think he would have killed this with coated weapons if he had it. Could be wrong, though. Let's see. I feel like I wasted some coins in that play. This Kikimo warrior's also looking a little bit sad right now. Fortnite was fun when it was fresh, since it was kind of casual, but getting into it seems really difficult. Yeah, I mean, so I just have like my friend and my brother I'm just playing with a few games a week. Just having some fun with that. So because he goes Vanhemar now? Otherwise that play doesn't make that much sense. Basically, if you cannot kill MK, then... Okay, he locks... I mean, okay, that also makes sense. Can also see that. But I mean, we could just steal this, right? Don't we just do that? Like, it means like you got like Defender and Colgrim and shit, but I think stealing is just too good not to take it. I'm gonna take that steal. He's thinning quite aggressively now. I'm gonna drop this one, I think. See if we can squeeze out a little bit of value of that. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely an option to save my save it for that, I agree. I do think this is fine as well, though. Hmm. Just do this. I know the boat won't come back this turn, but it will next turn. I think I'm gonna pass on this. And if not, I mean, I can still just eat this. Should still be fine. I mean, could get in trouble, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you need to do these points somehow as well. I guess Mentos could probably do it. Mentos actually smurf quite hard. I don't know. Maybe this is wrong. Okay, we're fine. We just heat wave it. We're fine. Could probably run in trouble to some Mentos there, but I think now we're perfectly fine. Maybe that was a bad play for me. That's the thing when playing, right? Like, it's important to evaluate your decision, not the outcome. Like this play I just made could potentially just be bad with the Philippa, but it ended up paying off. That doesn't mean that it's not necessarily good to do it another time. I didn't want to spend because I want to get the boat out. I could have spent once, I suppose, and I go to 6 this turn if we get out next turn. I think maybe spending once would have been fine. Probably would have. Yeah, spending once was correct, right? It just means I would end at 7 coins instead. Yes, that doesn't play for anything. Actually, you can get a tie, right? But I mean, at that point, if we go to 1 3, we should win. We have an Iron top deck, we have full coin carrier, we don't lose from that position. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions about anything regarding the deck, then just drop a comment in the comment section below, and see you next time.